Hi, I'm Remy David. I'm a skilled technician. Don't try this at home, but you might have to. The Alesis HD24 has been well documented having a problem from excessive vibration during recording. This seems to happen most in very high sound pressure level environments such as a live rock concert too close to the rock and roll system. We don't know why it stops. I have a hypothesis why. These caddies are no good. I've had too many experiences with these in computer systems before, so I don't like them. I rather not use them. Here's my solution to the problem. A permanently installed hard disk drive in your HD24. It's not hard to do, slightly challenging. There's numerous ways you can do it. Here's one that I did. In this modification, we will be removing the HD24 first caddy drive. We're going to take out the cage, and we're going to remove the permanently installed fan screws that protrude from the top of the frame. You can see them protruding barely. Over here on the right side, you'll notice that there is a 40-pin hard drive IDE ribbon cable that interfaces to the front full-function control panel. So I think this could actually be removed to create a full-function remote separate from the rest of the electronics if one was enterprising enough. But you can see I've already removed the cage. There's the caddy entrance door. Here is the 50-pin connector, which is a standard IDE type of cable. Here's the matching side that was on the cage, as you can see. It's now been removed from the cage, and you'll see that I've attached it directly to the hard drive cage. It's going to be removed, but it's only 2 screws to remove it, and then it'll come right off. So I'd like to unsolder these terrible connectors, but you can see that that's all surface mount components, and anytime you try to unsolder one thing, you're going to destroy the entire surface mount component nature of this board. So that's really not a good thing. But now you've got that free space there. The hard drive could actually go there, leaving this big empty space here. I'd like to put a drawer in there, but the hardware isn't quite conducive to sticking a drawer in there. Nice place that you could hide your little remote control. So here you'll see the shock mount device that I decided to purchase. It is a silicone enclosure for a hard drive. So it's soft rubber silicone. There's 2 in the package for $8. One's for a 2.5-inch drive and one is for the 3.5-inch drive. Of course, we're using the 3.5-inch drive here. And here it is. I've put the drive around the booty, and I've put the booty on top of a pair of hard disk drive mounts that you'd normally stick into a 5.5-inch drive bay, which is now screwed on top of the caddy cage. And you'll notice that this is all screwed together now. It's removed from the case, and they are screwed together tightly. So where I really hate these connectors, really hate them, and would like to have them removed, I think it's much more prudent to just plug them in together and screw them together very tightly. This will keep them from having any more vibrational problems. So I'd really not rather try to play around with surface mount components. It's just a little too challenging, and I don't have the proper tools, neither do you. So I don't think you'll want to try that. This will go back inside, and there's actually enough clearance, but notice how nicely shock mounted this is. This silicone condom, which goes around the entire hard drive, will damp not only the vibrations, but lower the case resonance of the hard drive itself. And you can see that there's lots more air to flow through than there was sitting in a hot little caddy. So I think this is going to run cooler this way too, even without a fan. So now we're just going to plop this thing back on in, and it mounts with 4 screws on the bottom, 2 on the front. The 2 on the front I can't get to anymore, so it's going to live without the 2 in the front. And you can see how it sits in there. There's still at least 1 inch worth of clearance between the hard drive and the lid top. And it's nicely shock isolated, damped, vibration reduced. The caddy hole still can be used. You can stick the little remote control in now if you want, and the door is still spring loaded. And the extra electronics there, they just sort of sit on top, and you just tuck them down, and they'll sit there just fine. Make sure that you don't short anything to any other metal parts. You can always cover it in a little piece of tape if you'd rather. And there you go. But you also have this ribbon cable sitting over here on the right, and that connects to the front panel control. It's that single, flat IDE ribbon cable that fits to the front panel. So you could actually pull that off the chassis and maybe make a separate remote with a long enough cable. I haven't tried that yet, and I'm not necessarily going to. So there, how it looks in the completed form, and you can see that you have plenty and ample clearance with that now vibration-reduced and shock-mounted hard drive permanently installed. A nice, clean job since there is so much space left inside the cabinet. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me a line at remydavid@cox.net.